Greece is situated at the intersection of Europe, Asia, and Africa. Its 130,000 square kilometer land is home to gods and heroes. Ancient Greece is counted as the fount of Western civilization, with the inventions of mathematics and philosophy. Every pillar stands as a witness to truth and wisdom. Athens, named after the Greek goddess Athena, is where George Chagopoulos was born and raised.
My name is George Chagopoulos, and I was born in Athens in 1980. And my current affiliations are that of the Director of Sino-European Programs at the Centre International de Formation Européenne in France.
By the age of 27, George had secured 2 master's degrees and a doctorate from Greece, the UK, and France. They were in history, military affairs, and politics. He then wrote as a newspaper columnist, specializing in international relations. At the age of 31, George joined the International Center for European Studies and is now in charge of their China-EU program. 2 years ago, George started a book on China's Belt and Road Initiative. Today, he is going to visit the port of Piraeus to do some more research, since the port is now run by a Chinese enterprise.
Yes, kalimera.
Kalimeras.
The port of Piraeus has long been one of the major ports on the eastern Mediterranean. It is Europe's southern gateway. Located 10 kilometers southwest of Athens, it covers close to 300 hectares. And as the largest port in Greece, it can handle over 4 million standard cargo units every year.
George, welcome.
Thank you, Captain, for having me here.
Okay, let's go. And I will introduce something about the vessel. And this is the largest container vessel in the world.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Right.
Also, this service is served for One Belt, One Road initiative.
Right.
So we are now make our efforts to build the port of Piraeus into the largest container transshipment port.
So we can talk about win-win results here.
Yes, this is a win-win project and also very important for the One Belt, One Road.
Okay, and also for the Greece is very important because people are happy with this investment.
Yes.
And also
The port of Piraeus came to George's attention in 2009. For Greece, it was a very tough year.
Clouds of black smoke and tear gas.
Now has the highest poverty
As the
rate.
drama over Greece's future in Europe
The
continues.
turbulence of the global financial markets sparked a debt crisis in Greece. The Greek government announced debts of 300 billion euros, which accounted for a massive 113% of its GDP of that year.
Well, Greece entered the crisis in 2009. So when the world financial crisis hit the United States of America and later reached the Eurozone, Greece was the weakest link.
How could the Greek economy rise from rock bottom? George saw hope in the port of Piraeus. In June 2008, China Ocean Shipping Company, known as COSCO, one of the world's largest cargo and freight carriers, was awarded a contract for a 35-year franchise right to Piers 2 and 3 of the Piraeus container terminal. By 2013, COSCO had refitted the 2 piers and turned them into Europe's fastest-growing docks in handling volume. This success of the port of Piraeus impressed George immensely. In the same year, Chinese President Xi Jinping proposed the Belt and Road Initiative, which immediately attracted George's attention. He recognized that the BRI was of extraordinary significance to Greece and the rest of the world. He decided to write a book about the BRI and introduce it to the West. The think tank that George works for is a non-profit private research institute called the International Centre for European Studies, or CIFA. Founded in 1954, it is based in Nice in France. The current president is Herman Van Rompuy, former president of the European Council. Jean-Claude Juncker, president of the European Commission, and Philippe Maystadt, former president of the European Investment Bank, have also served as president. However, in 2016, even at such an internationally renowned think tank, researchers studying the BRI were few, and related resources were limited.
Γεια σας, καλημέρα.
Καλημέρα σας.
Ενδιαφέρομαι για βιβλία για Κίνα, σας παρακαλώ.
Για την Κίνα, ναι. Δώστε μου μισό λεπτό. Το τμήμα το αντίστοιχο βρίσκεται στον τρίτο διάδρομο.
Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. Even if material does exist, normally it portrays China from a Western point of view.
George created his own website, chinaandgreece.com, for data gathering. With this platform, George acquired a good volume of information and also publicized the opinions of Greek scholars on China.
I thought there was a vacuum as far as the understanding of China in the West was concerned. It is an inclusive project where more countries can participate and, more importantly, where new projects can be proposed.
In June 2015, the debt crisis escalated. The government closed some of the banks. The funding for George's website dried up.
But in 2015, I was encountered with serious financial problems in order to find financing and adverts for the website, because it was a period during which it was not certain whether Greece could stay in the Eurozone.
To maintain the operation of his website and to keep open the hard-won window, George had to raise money from several partners, at the same time carrying on his work on the BRI. By August 2018, Greece emerged from the Eurozone bailout program and declared an end to its debt crisis. In the same month, Greece and China signed a memorandum of understanding to jointly develop the BRI. After 2 years, in March 2019, George finalized his book, entitled Understanding China. In the 40,000-word book, he discusses Sino-US and Sino-EU relations, and more particularly, what the Belt and Road Initiative has brought to Greece and the world.
It could have been a very good opportunity for me to share this experience and explain China in a book that will combine both Chinese and Western bibliography and scholarship in order to understand China, looking at all available perspectives and not only the Western one.
Καλημέρα σας. Σας έφερα το βιβλίο για την Κίνα.
Καλημέρα, ευχαριστούμε πολύ κύριε Τζογόπουλε. Είναι πολύ ενδιαφέρον το βιβλίο σας για την Κίνα. Θα χαρούμε πολύ να το εκδώσουμε και πιστεύουμε ότι θα πάει πάρα πολύ καλά.
Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Είστε καλά.
In George's book, he introduces the Belt and Road Initiative to his readers.
The more time passes, the better it is for people in the West to understand what it is and also to realize that the current Belt and Road Initiative goes beyond the historical roots of the One Belt, One Road, because more countries and more people across the globe can participate.
Every day, 180,000 vehicles pass over the Bosporus Bridge to complete an intercontinental journey. From Europe to Asia and Asia to Europe, the bridge spans the strait which separates the two continents. Napoleon once said, if the earth were a single state, Constantinople would be its capital. Constantinople is today's Istanbul. It witnessed the convergence of East and West over 2,700 years, where civilizations sparkled irresistible charm, from the Byzantine Empire to the Ottoman Empire to today's Republic of Turkey. Hakan Suva is the president of the Marmara Foundation. He has been preparing for the Eurasian Economic Summit and plans to include in his opening speech China's Belt and Road Initiative. Indeed, it is the theme of the summit. The Eurasian Economic Summit is an annual international forum hosted by Marmara Foundation in Istanbul. Over the years, it has played a major role in creating dialogue, resolving regional disputes, and promoting regional peace and development. Hakan's desire to promote peace is rooted in his formative experiences.
Ben yüksek tahsilimi ekonomi üstüne yaptım. Ama hayatımda hiç ekonomiyle meşgul olmadım. Daha çok uluslararası ilişkilerle meşgul oldum.
In 1966, Hakan graduated from university and became a reporter. In the following 23 years, he traveled through the Balkans, the Caucasus, and the Middle East, interviewed dozens of state leaders, and published numerous articles, newsletters, and books. His acute observations and commentaries made him one of Turkey's leading political commentators.
Bulgaristan'dan geçen yıl göçe zorlanmasının yarattığı tepki dünyada hala Bulgarları yıpratıyor.
In the 1980s, ethnic conflicts erupted in neighboring Bulgaria. Over 300,000 refugees fled to Turkey, where refugee resettlement centers were set up to provide them with food and shelter. Those days are still fresh in Suva's memory.
Onlar açtılar, susuzdular ama hepsi haysiyetliydi. Orada kendilerine ikram edilenlere dahi zorla dokunuyorlardı. Orada göçün acısını, orada evsizliğin acısını, orada sürgünün acısını yüreğimde hissettim. Bunlar körükledi diyelim. Bunlar ateşledi diyelim. Bunlar coşturdu diyelim. Bunlar his verdi diyelim.
In 1998, Hakan left the newspaper business at the age of 56 and joined the Marmara Foundation. Having been so successful in the media, he was elected chairman. Founded in 1985, Marmara Foundation is a non-governmental organization promoting peaceful dialogue. It is mainly composed of former government officials, former parliamentarians, scholars, and entrepreneurs. It plays a key role in developing Turkish economic and strategic priorities and is one of the most famous think tanks in Turkey.
Bu kuruluş benden önce 7 ayrı başkanla beraber çalıştı. Çalıştığı bu 7 ayrı başkanla birlikte Türkiye'nin meseleleriyle ilgilendi.
Hakan believes regional stability requires more than just peace in one country. It requires a network of communication and cooperation among countries, all seeking peace and progress.
Ve ben inanıyorum ki bölgede refah olmadan, bölgede zenginlik bölüşülmeden, bölgede insanlar birbirini tanımadan, birbiriyle diyalog sahibi olmadan bir barışın olmayacağını düşünerek bir Avrasya birlikteliği coşkusu içerisinde yola çıktı.
Immediately after he took office, he initiated the first Eurasian Economic Summit and invited European and Asian political and business figures to discuss regional issues and seek economic cooperation. Between 1998 and 2010, the summit held 13 sessions and reached agreements on economic cooperation valued in billions of dollars. However, Hakan couldn't have the peaceful development he strove for so easily. In 2011, civil war broke out in Syria, Turkey's neighbor.
Suriye'de bir ateş var. Bu ateşten kaçanlar var.
The war claimed over 500,000 lives and displaced nearly 6 million people. More than half of Syrian refugees flooded into Turkey. Some went on to other countries and some stayed. Resettlement of refugees became acutely sensitive and threatened to create regional disputes. Attendance of the Eurasian Economic Summit dropped dramatically.
Biz de sivil toplum kimliğimizle buraya yaşayan insanların kendi ülkelerine salimen dönmeleri konusunda bir şeyler yapabilmenin telaşı ve sorumluluğu içindeyiz.
In 2013, China proposed the Belt and Road Initiative. Its concept of peaceful cooperation, openness and inclusiveness was immediately picked up on by Suva.
Uzak Doğu'yu uç Avrupa'yla, Batı Avrupa'nın en ucuyla birleştirecek, zenginlikleri taşıyacak, kültürleri birbirine tanıştıracak, dilleri birbiriyle kaynaştıracak bu proje bir barış projesidir.
Subsequently, Akan decided to make the Belt and Road Initiative the theme of the Eurasian Economic Summit. At various events sponsored by Marmara Foundation, he introduces the BRI to people from all around the world.
Why? Because I organized for 5 years the activity for Silk Road, One Belt, One Road.
However, to popularize a cooperative initiative from China is not necessarily easy here.
Katılmayanların büyük bir kısmı mesafenin uzaklığından ve mesafenin büyük farklılık yarattığından söz ederek pek olumlu bakmadılar.
To better understand the BRI, between the years of 2014 and 2018, Akan traveled to China more than 10 times for research. Returning home, he introduced the initiative to people wherever he went. He hopes the BRI will help enhance people's confidence in the Eurasian Economic Summit and bring a breakthrough in regional peace and growth. Thanks to Akan's efforts, the Belt and Road Initiative officially became the theme of the 22nd Eurasian Economic Summit. On February 6, 2019, the summit was held as scheduled with over 200 political and business leaders attending. They came from 42 countries in Europe, Asia, and Africa.
Zira inanıyoruz ki bir kuşak bir yol projesi gerçekleştiğinde Pekin'den Londra'ya uzanan bir çizgide...
His speech was well received by the audience. They exchanged views on infrastructure, refugee settlement, climate change and other global issues. They discussed the BRI and looked ahead to the peaceful, stable and prosperous future for the region. The summit lasted 2 days. During the event, what Suva said most was this.
Bu projenin Çin'den Londra'ya kadar uzanan çizgi içerisinde insanlara daha güvenli, daha verimli ve daha barışçıl bir ortam getirmesi düşüncesiyle yola çıktık. Bir kuşak, bir yol projesi global bir şekilde de insanlığı kucaklayacak bir projedir. Çağın felsefesidir.
Many people know of its name by experience or reputation, but only a few know all its diverse titles. City of Angels, Great City of Immortals, Magnificent City of the Nine Gems, Seat of the King, City of Royal Palaces, Home of Gods Incarnate, erected by Vishvavakarman at Indra's behest, Beyond all that, it is Thailand's capital and the second largest city in Southeast Asia, Bangkok. Most Thais are Buddhists, a faith that advocates peace, modesty, and magnanimity. But they are also devotees of their ferocious boxing, Muay Thai. General Surasit Thanatang practices Muay Thai every day.
Muay Thai is not a traditional martial arts. It also works as a strategic form of the national strategic power elements, namely legs, punching, elbowing, or even knee from the farthest to the nearest. Firstly, information operation. Secondly, diplomatics. Thirdly, economic means, the military as the last resource.
Surasit Thanatang is 61 years old. He served in the army all his life and as the president of the National Defense College of Thailand. Throughout his military career, he took a keen interest in the country's economic situation. After retiring in 2017, he joined the National Research Council of Thailand. Founded in 1958, the NRCT is composed of 12 disciplinary committees and a national research center. As the country's only official think tank, it is supervised directly by the Prime Minister. For the past half-century, it has helped shape national policy. Surasit became the director of the Thai-Chinese Strategic Research Center with responsibility for aligning Thai interests with the potential of the BRI. Surasit's interest in the collaboration between China and Thailand began 7 years ago. In 2012, he organized a seminar for the National Defense College. It was held right here. In this very auditorium, Surasit presented a paper in which he discussed whether Thailand should adopt China's high-speed rail technology.
China in the new traditional security.
In the audience sat experts from the NRCT, officials from the Thai government, as well as local and foreign media. Although Surasit's speech played a key role in the later successes of railway cooperation between China and Thailand, he was challenged by the media for his trust in Chinese technology.
The CNN reporter sits here, and he asks me, why China and why Chinese high-speed train? I didn't trust any Chinese technology. I used to be in China, and many are in advance, and somebody quite surprised what they see now. The time have proved, and they can agree with me.
Surasit's confidence in China sprang from the Asian financial crisis many years ago. In 1997, Thailand was one of the first to suffer, and the contagion spread rapidly. But China remained immune, thanks to its government's prudent and steady financial and monetary policies. Surasit took note. In 2012, China's per capita GDP exceeded Thailand's for the first time in history. On October 3, 2013, Chinese President Xi Jinping addressed the Indonesian parliament. It was then that he proposed the building of the 21st century maritime Silk Road. Surasit took further note. Since the BRI came into being, Surasit has been a frequent visitor to the Thai-Chinese Rayong Industrial Zone, about 2 hours from downtown Bangkok. More than 120 Chinese enterprises have set up shop here. Surasit wants to see how they're progressing. Trina Solar is headquartered in East China. Thais make up 90% of the 1,300-strong workforce at the factory. Each year, it produces photovoltaic modules and arrays capable of generating over 1,500 megawatts.
When we learned Belt and Road Initiative, green development, It's not already Thai direction, but it's really global direction. We have to think what really the most important green energy. So we are focusing.
Supakit Tanetang, Surasit's 31-year-old son, is studying for a PhD in e-commerce at China's University of International Business and Economics.
Why I sent my son to China? Firstly, I used to study in China and graduated from Guofang Daxue. I want him to be a seed of the diplomatic exchange.
Every time his son returns home for vacation, Surasit takes him out on field research. Today they are visiting the Bangkok warehouse of a Chinese e-commerce company. The warehouse began operation in September 2018. It covers more than 20,000 square meters, stocking consumer goods and electronic products. The company is building the most efficient e-commerce platform in Thailand.
How could we apply model of development of Jintong to Thai company? The management, e-commerce, and also the innovation that they will invest in this field.
What interests the visitors most is the company's plan for fully automated operations. This 1,500 square meter floor area will soon see its first batch of trackless navigation warehouse robots. Surasit has obtained large amounts of primary data from his field research. For 2 years, he has been submitting monthly internal reports to the Prime Minister and introducing Chinese think tanks' practices. In his Report on Development of Chinese Enterprises, he suggests Thailand learn from China's experience and technologies in green energy. In March this year, Surasit arranged for the Thai publication of Key Words to Understand China, the Belt and Road Initiative. Under the guidance of Surasit, the Thai government has fully aligned itself with the BRI while introducing its own strategy called Thailand 4.0. Surasit is happy and looking forward to seeing the benefits the BRI will bring.
Belt and Road Initiative is not only the strategy to work peacefully with any country, but also the platform to develop together.
According to the Cariokas, the best season of the year is when God sprinkles icing on the Sugarloaf Mountain. They believe that God never grudges his love any corner of Rio de Janeiro. Sitting between mountains and the sea, Rio is blessed by its tropical savanna climate, the Carioca landscape, and its endless vitality. Rio is home to migrants from far and wide. It is not only Brazil's second largest industrial center, but also a cultural center for the whole continent and one of the world's great artistic cities. In Rio, the homeland of magical realism, 13 million people work tirelessly to create miracles from reality.
My name is Evandro Carvalho. I am 43 years old and I have a Chinese name, Cao Wenyong. I was born in a city called Recife, located in the northeast of Brazil. In Rio de Janeiro, I am an international law professor at Getúlio Vargas Foundation, FGV.
Before the age of 38, Evandro worked in Brazil's legal industry. In 2013, at his own expense, he took himself off to China and became a visiting scholar at the Center for BRICS Studies at Fudan University. Returning to Rio in 2016, he joined the Getulio Vargas Foundation, the largest think tank in South America. He focuses his studies on the Belt and Road Initiative and is Brazil's leading scholar in the field. Founded in 1994, the Getulio Vargas Foundation provides authoritative policy advice to the Brazilian government and businesses. It has over 90 research centers with 3,000 full-time research staff, producing more than 6,000 articles and 59 journals every year. A year ago, Evandro became the editor-in-chief for China Today, the first Portuguese monthly magazine on current affairs in China. Its latest issue is about the origins of Sino-Brazilian relations.
I am at the Botanical Garden in Rio de Janeiro. This place, this beautiful place, was set up by the King John VI in the very beginning of the 19th century. Here we can find a lot of different kinds of trees and plants that represent the Brazilian nature. But we have a special one, a tea tree. That the King John VI invited Chinese laborers to come to Brazil to cultivate tea. This happened in 1812. And this is the beginning of the relation between Brazil and China.
In the early 20th century, to acknowledge the Chinese contribution to development, a Chinese pavilion was built on the viewing platform of Tijuca National Park. Evandro decided to use a picture of the pavilion for the cover of his journal's latest issue.
Belt and Road.
Carvalho has a second job, teaching in the Foundation's law school. He has been collecting students' opinions on China in his classes.
Technology development that has been really for us.
Things like pollution, the environmental problems that China has.
Is that they have like the courage, the merits to trail their own way towards development and not only to follow ways of others.
The young Brazilians, they are very interested to know more about China, but the lack of knowledge about China is still huge. When I mention about One Belt and Road, really few people knew about that. I think that the Cold War still has an influence in the mind of the old generation. The stereotype about China that was built during the Cold War, the reform and opening up policy that started in 1978. The old generation, they still keep this idea. But this idea is very far from what China became today. Now this is changing, step by step.
Brazil is the largest and most populous country in South America and the dynamo of the continent's economy. Since 2009, China and Brazil have worked ever more together under the framework of BRICS. The triad of trade, investment and finance hold much promise in allowing a shared path to prosperity.
China is the first trade partner to Brazil. Now, currently the main investor. So the second most important economy in the world. It's a very important country for many other countries.
In 2018, Carvalho started producing a video show called Wenyong's Talks on China.
Okay, good. 1, 2, 3, right.
In the latest program, he invited Brazil's international trade expert to talk about Sino-Brazilian cooperation under the BRI. Over the past year, Carvalho has made many journeys between China and Brazil to film. So far, there have been 6 episodes.
Todos os anos, no calendário político da China, ocorre importante evento conhecido como 2 sessões: aberta, moderna, criativa, inovadora, empreendedora, from the law area they are invited to play a major role step by step in this country.
Evandro has made great efforts in recent years to promote the Belt and Road Initiative in Brazil. He explained China's policies to local institutions in Brazil, provided legal advice to Chinese enterprises, and translated Chinese books on economics, law, and culture. Evandro Carvalho has a unique understanding of the Belt and Road Initiative. When he introduces it, typically he says,
"One belt, one road, and one river." The translation of Rio is river. Rio de Janeiro as a city that play a role as a gate to connect Brazil and the Belt and Road Initiative.
Well, Belt and Road is a major initiative for boosting trade and development. And it has lots of opportunities for countries to participate.
Because we need a world in which we think of ourselves as sharing common humanity. We need to think about ourselves as people who have a shared destiny for mankind. Because we can only prosper together.
周辺の地域をより経済発展させて、そしてそのことによって紛争を未然に防いで平和な地域にしていくということが一帯一路構想の最大の目的だと思って私はサポートができればと思っております。
That means the same rights and the same duties for everybody who is involved in the trading process.
In the context of regional development, in the context of global development, BRI is one of the most important initiatives in today's world.
إنها مبادرة خلاقة تغير من قواعد اللعبة الأساسية على مستوى العالم فيما يتعلق بالتواصل بين الدول من خلال البنية التحتية والتجارة والتعاون في مجال الطاقة وفي مجالات مختلفة كثيرة.
And I think this is a great opportunity for all of us, and especially to link the Belt and Road to the SDGs, to the Sustainable Development Goals and Agenda 2030.
The story just began. We have 6 years only. It's a very young project, but we can see that it has a huge potential for tomorrow.
Because the people try to keep peace. We try to do the most to understand each other, because all of us live in one planet.